Hi everyone, welcome to the next installment of snackable content on the Personio HR Expert Hub. Today's the summer edition, and joining me today is Patrick Cournoyer, who is the Chief Evangelist at Peakon, an employee success platform that converts feedback into actionable insights to help improve engagement. Patrick's going to share some insights about how to identify quitters before it's too late. Staff turnover can be one of the most costly challenges for any business, so we're going to talk about whether it's possible to predict employee departures in advance and uncover some of the most common causes of attrition. Welcome, Patrick, and thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
How soon can you tell if someone is likely to be a flight risk?
The best way to be able to understand if somebody is going to leave your organization is by understanding it through data. Ultimately, data is going to be the key in telling organizations when people are potentially going to leave. And with the right approach to understanding how employees feel and their sentiment, you could predict all the way up to 9 months in advance of an employee leaving that there is the potential that that employee is going to leave.
As early as 9 months, wow. What are some of the red flags and how do you detect them?
So there's 4 main areas that are clear predictors on if an employee is thinking about leaving. The first is very much centered around how much an employee feels that they would recommend their organization as a place to work. Something that we have found is that employees that are on the lower end of the scale of that commitment to recommending their organization as a place to work are actually 3 times more likely to leave the organization. So understanding how much an employee is willing to recommend their organization as a place to work is really the first place that can indicate if somebody is considering leaving their company. The second is around loyalty. How much are they willing to stay at their organization if they were offered another role at another company? Now, that's probably not shocking to hear, but many organizations don't even really know if their employees would be willing to take a role somewhere else or if they wouldn't. So being able to truly understand that is quite important. The third area is around how willing they are to have their voice heard. And Laura, I think you are definitely feeling this in the field that you work in and that we work in here at Peakon as well, is that employee experience and employee expectations and employees being the center of businesses has leaped forward significantly over the past 6 months. And as we build this new world of work and the future of work, employees are very much the center of how we're going to build the futures of our organizations. And their voice and their opinion, their feelings, their sentiment is incredibly important. If employees are slowing down in having that voice heard and asserting that voice within their organization, that's also a sign that there is the potential that they are a flight risk. And the fourth area, which I think is really the one that we should concentrate on today, is around growth. When an employee feels that their individual growth opportunity and their participation in building that growth opportunity is not there, it is not available to them, that is a clear sign that they are potentially going to leave the organization. So that focus area on individual growth is probably one of the most impactful areas that organizations should be focusing on to prevent regrettable churn or attrition.
Thank you for laying that out so crisply. Once you've identified some of these flight risk attributes, what can you do to change the outcome?
So I think we'll focus on 2 of the 4. The first is, as we talked about a minute ago, is around growth. The days of building an annual growth plan for employees are just gone, quite frankly. There is a significant expectation of employees today. And I think this is a very valid expectation because I know I feel it as well. I think every employee at an organization feels that they want to feel that they're part of what their growth trajectory and journey is going to be. And businesses are changing faster than an annual cadence. And beyond that, employee expectations are changing even faster than businesses. And if we look at the past 6 months and how we're all moving into this new future in the world of work, businesses are even changing faster than half year or quarterly cycles. Businesses are looking at how they're evolving on a monthly basis. So employee conversations around growth and plans around growth truly have to be much more frequent. I would say at least a monthly conversation around growth needs to be had with every employee in an organization as we build for the future. And small check-ins around growth in one-on-ones with leaders, those are the types of actions that can really make a difference in the long term of if an employee is going to consider staying out of business, because if they feel that their growth is a priority, not only for their organization, but specifically for their direct manager, then that is what's going to encourage them to continue to stay and invest in the organization that they're at. So empowering managers to make sure they're having those frequent conversations, but having a structured growth plan that is revisited on a high frequency basis. I think a good cadence is monthly, and that the employee is centric in building what that plan is, because the days of kind of top-down growth plans being provided by organizations are just different. The second area is around this employee voice and empowering the voice of their employees. Many organizations over the past couple of months have increased their ways and their approaches of empowering the voice of their employees. We have fragmented workforces. Many people are working from home. I know Laura and I were just talking earlier, we're both working from home. So the ability for employees to have a voice, to have their feelings heard, and to really be listened to is another way that we can empower employees to feel more connected to their organizations and ultimately, hopefully, stay with their organizations for the long term.
Thank you, Patrick, for these valuable insights. And everyone, please check out the Personio HR Expert Hub for more insights and interviews.